Hello and welcome back to another week of Preacher Life. So, Joy and I just got back from from me getting a haircut, and we got caught in some rain. We got back in the van. We're all drying out, and so to give a bit of a break for both of us, I'm back to doing a video just in bed this week. But that's alright, it works either way, correct? So this week we are looking at the fourth day of creation, which, as you can see here, is Genesis 1 verses 14 through 19. So let's read this and then we'll get into more information on it. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the expanse of the heavens, to give light on the earth." And it was so. So God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and also the stars. And God placed them in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule the day and the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, a fourth day. So let's look at it a little bit more detailed. And you actually see me, or that's good or bad. I'll let you choose. I guess you can minimize your video and just listen to me. But we have a few things to look at here. That God made the greater light and the lesser light. And put them in the expanse. So if we remember back to day 2, when the expanse was made, then this is what we see now that stars are put into. So this is the sun and the moon, as my shirt says, that we recognize today and are familiar with. And look at their purpose for one. They are to be for lights and to tell apart for days, years, and for seasons. And it was so. And ever since they've been put in place, they have been used for this purpose. And they are so accurate that we can go back and know what constellations would have been on this date or how they are. And we can look ahead to know what things are coming, such as solar eclipses or where stars will be found at and that kind of thing. And we also see here, just in part of the verse, that God made the stars also. Just a little mention, oh, he made them, that's all. But think about what that little verse means. That how many billions of stars and planets are in one galaxy alone, and how many galaxies there are in the universe. It's more than really our puny little minds can comprehend. But God spoke them all into existence. And a lot of people try to say that they were all just an accident, the result of the Big Bang and evolution. But we need to really look at this a little bit closer than that and see. So there are several different areas we can look at, but I'll just mention two of them. First, we see a lot of comets today that, they go around the sun and they lose part of their material, and sometimes one pass is all that they make, and that's it. Others, like Halley's Comet or that kind of thing, can make several passes, but eventually they run out of material and no longer exist. It is estimated that the maximum a comet can last is 100,000 years. Well, I believe the common theory now is that the Earth is something like 4.5 billion years old, and the universe is around 13 billion. Well, we still have comets here, so if they can only last 100,000 years, then how can that be? And I know that it's common that to say that there is something, an Oort cloud that they come from, that somehow they get knocked out of this cloud on occasion and get thrown into the solar system and then appear for a while. But while we can find planets that are very long distances away, that are thousands of light years away, and still kind of see them, not directly, but pretty close, we can't find where this Oort cloud is at. They know it has to exist, but can't say where. I would say, well, that's because it doesn't exist, because the universe isn't that old. Another thing that we can look at are spiral galaxies, such as our own Milky Way, that the center of the galaxy winds up at a different speed than the outside of it, so that they should be all in a tight little circle now. But we still see galaxies that have very distinct spiral arms to them. My screensaver just came on. I've been talking too long. And again, there are theories to say of how these spiral arms can still exist even after billions of years, but the other clue is that they really aren't all that old, actually. But critics will try to say that, well, we can see galaxies and stars that are much more than 6,000 light years away. So if the universe and Earth is only 6,000 years old, as the Bible says, then how can we see them? Well, there are several possibilities. I will talk about two of them. The first is by Dr. Jason Lisle. Well, what is the one-way speed of light? We know that light has a speed of about 182,000 miles per second. However, that is measuring it at a distance of when it goes from point A to point B and back again, because that's how it works to measure it. That you have a light source, say, over here, it bounces over here to this side and comes back again. That's how you know how to measure it. But, as he has proposed, no one is able to measure how fast it actually goes one way. So it's very possible that it actually does go much faster and can also then be any amount of speed that you want, which would mean light can get here quickly. It's an interesting theory and one that I don't explain very well. It takes a very larger book, which I have over here on my shelf. But another one by Dr. Danny Faulkner is, that this was a week that a lot of supernatural things were going on, of God creating things that just by speaking them into existence. And as I said in the previous day, last week, about plants and everything that would have matured quickly. Well, there's nothing to say that God could not have, at the speed of light, be faster for a temporary amount of time, because if the stars and everything were to serve their purpose, then that means they had to be in place and visible by the time mankind was on the earth, which was on day 6. Well, these were created on day 4, so that means in less than 2 days we had to get the stars and their lights to serve their purpose. So I like that theory a little bit better, that yes, what we see happening, say, many thousands or maybe even a million light years away, the event did actually take place, just the light has got here a lot faster for a time period. But you'll say that, well, as a Bible creationist, I'm making up different rescue devices. However, if you look at evolution, they also have problems explaining how things look the way they do now in the universe. So, such as one item is how the universe has a uniform temperature for the most part. Even for billions of years, it is said that there's not been enough time to get an equal temperature across the universe. However, that is pretty well what we see today. And there are different theories for that as well. But the main point is that more of what we see and study shows that the universe is young and really not that old. And as we see here on the 4th day of creation, that it is very possible of how God created things and did them as He said. And we also read in Genesis 19, in Psalm 19, that the heavens declare the glory of God, and the skies above declare His handiwork. So let's look at it here directly in the Bible. Again, Psalm 19, verse 1 says, "The heavens are telling of the glory of God, and the expanse is declaring the work of His hands." It's a little bit different version than I'm used to, this Legacy Standard Bible, but it says the same thing. That looking at the heavens, they tell us of the glory of God. And we have looked all throughout the heavens, and we still keep studying it and finding more that surprises us and gives us things that we did not expect to find. And they continue to tell of the glory and the genius of God. But when we look at all of it, it still is a very small mention as part of God's creation. And there are other areas such as Psalm 8 that declare the glory of God and wonder, what are we compared to the heavens? But God still looks to us. And that is where we will end today. But thank you for watching The Preacher Life. And I will catch you next week on the 5th day of creation. It might be getting towards the end of the week, but we still have a lot to cover. So I look forward to talking about that with you. And for now, thank you for watching The Preacher Life. Bye for now.